quite like Star Wars. This might come as a surprise to those who've watched my older videos, where I have been less than complimentary about the franchise and its fanbase. Star Wars and LEGO go together hand in hand, as they pretty much appeal to the same kind of people. Small children, and underdeveloped man-children. But I don't mind Star Wars. I don't like it as much as some, but I don't think I physically could, without increasing my daily soy intake. I was excited for the release of Fallen Order, and from what I've heard, it's pretty good. But at £55 on Steam, it had better be the best thing since erotic Yoda ASMR. So how can I capitalize on the release of a new Star Wars game on the cheap? Step forward, The Force Unleashed. The Force Unleashed sets out with a simple premise. People like cool lightsaber fights, and force powers, so take those things, and turn them up to fucking 11. And in this regard, it does a good job. Definitely more like Darth Vader in Rogue One than in A New Hope. The combat is easy to learn but still rewarding when unlocking new combos or abilities through the upgrade system, and learning to chain these attacks in new and interesting ways is pretty damn fun. There's something incredibly satisfying about seeing stormtroopers thrown around like Bill Cosby in prison. The combat is dumb fun, but this initial excitement fades quite quickly. Once this happens, you begin to realize that for all the promise of being over the top, the game is quite pedestrian. The level design is pretty bland, with the occasional branching path in mostly linear levels. Boss fights are at best okay, and at worst like shaking hands with a cheese grater. Once this has been established, it never breaks from this sense of monotony, which feels like completely wasted potential, and you wonder what this game engine could do if they mixed it up a bit more. Maybe a pod racing section? The plot is typical George Lucas writing. You play as Darth Vader's apprentice, named Starkiller. Or as George Lucas originally suggested, Darth Edgy. Darth Edgy. George Lucas had literally one good idea in his entire life. As Starkiller, you are tasked with running errands for the Sith Lord, like killing Jedi, and taking the bins out. Beyond this, the plot is pretty surface level, and feels like watching an IKEA mannequin school play. I really struggle to care about these characters, and overall the whole thing comes off like bad Star Wars fanfiction. Graphically the game is alright. Some areas look good, and really have that feel that is so specific to Star Wars as a franchise. Others just look like shit, though given this game is nearly 10 years old, I think that's acceptable. The music is pretty standard for Star Wars games, which is to say it's good, if a little generic. I don't think I could tell you which Star Wars game they came from, if presented them blindfolded. However, it could be worse. Playing through this game again got me thinking. The Force Unleashed feels a lot like the edgy older brother to Fallen Order. The first flawed attempt where all the mistakes are made, and later polished out in subsequent attempts. While I'm sure Fallen Order is a better game fundamentally, I can definitely recommend The Force Unleashed, if only for nostalgia purposes. It's quite strange that this video came out so close to the 1-year anniversary of my last Star Wars video, but you know what they say.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.